Hi guys, this is Raghav here from Headphone Zone. Today's video is going to be a little different. We've done so many videos talking about different IEMs and different headphones, comparing them to one another at different price points. But in today's video, I simply want to talk to you about 4 different headphones that I've listened to recently. And these 4 headphones are what I would simply describe as being absolutely perfect. So out of the 4 headphones that we're going to talk about today, you've got 2 brand new open back headphones and 2 brand new closed back headphones. Now, they're just absolutely fantastic headphones, which I think represent the very pinnacle of what headphone technology is capable today. I do not think that there is any better music listening experience than listening to the music on these 4 headphones. Now, I don't want to really review them. There are enough reviews about these products on the internet, and if you just have a look on YouTube, you'll find some in-depth reviews about all of these 4 headphones. But in my own opinion, if these headphones are just so perfect, I'd rather tell you about them and talk to you about what I think about these headphones when I'm listening to music on them, rather than talking to you about a full-fledged review highlighting all the goods and the not-so-goods about these headphones. It's really going to be hard to talk about the not-so-goods because, like I said, I just think these 4 headphones are perfect. All right, the first headphone that I want to talk to you about is the Meze Audio Empyrean II. Now, Meze Audio is not a new brand on this channel. For those who have been watching us for over the years, you'll know that I really like a lot of their headphones. The Empyrean, when it released a few years ago, was to me just an amazing, outstanding headphone that represented something which is totally different from everything I'd heard. The Empyrean was a nice, easy, laid-back headphone to listen to, something that didn't have to sound like an overly detailed calculus exam playing in your head, something that you could lay back, relax, and listen to at leisure and still find that you got everything that the music had in it. The Empyrean II takes that philosophy, takes that thought process, and just pushes it to a point where I think this headphone is just the best headphone ever made by humankind ever. I know that sounds like a bold statement to make, but I'm not the only one saying it. Almost universally, everyone who's ever heard these headphones would probably walk away saying that these are undoubtedly something else. It's at another level. Now, they're not cheap. It's 3 lakh rupees for a headphone, which I think is quite literally taking the very best that Meze Audio is capable of and putting out a headphone that should blow everybody's brains away. The philosophy of the headphone is still the same as what Empyrean I represented, which is that this has to be a headphone that isn't a magnifying glass to your music. It's not a headphone that's supposed to get hyper detailed, hyper analytical. It's not a tool. It's an object of pleasure. It's an object that should allow you to enjoy this music without your brain feeling tested. So it's still got that musical, warm, laid-back objective that the headphone is trying to give you, but it's got all the details in there. It's got all the sharpness that a high-end headphone should have. Insanely sharp imaging, incredible details. Now, for a long time, I used to think that a headphone that had a lot of details, a lot of top end, can also get very fatiguing. It could get too sharp. You may not have the ability to listen to more than 1 or 2 songs only because the details start feeling like pins in your ears. Not with these headphones. There is nothing that I can tell you that would help you understand it until you listen to it. All the details are there. It's airy, it's sharp, it's beautiful to listen to, but it's not fatiguing. Now, I'm sure there's a technical explanation for how they do it, but that's not my job to figure out. When you're listening to these headphones, it's just impossible to put them down. The bass sounds so nice and full. The details on the treble are just incredible. Vocals just sound beautifully expressive and detailed. Music can sound airy and not fatiguing. It can sound lush but not laid back. It's just a lot of contradictions which I think represent what this headphone is, which is perfection. They are also, without doubt, one of the most beautifully designed headphones. I mean, you just have to see the carbon and the CNC aluminum on these headphones. It's just beautiful. The ear pads are just phenomenally comfortable. And when you put these headphones on your head, it just does a fantastic job of taking the weight away from the headphone onto your head, where it almost disappears. I can wear these headphones for hours on end. And for somebody who just loves listening to music on a laid-back couch on a Saturday evening, I don't think that you can get anything better than the Meze Audio Empyrean II, guys. It's just perfection. The second headphone I want to talk to you about is the brand new Final Audio D7000 from Japan. Now, this is another headphone that's just incredible. What a mind-blowing headphone this is as well. And deservedly so, I would say that this probably is, again, one of the best headphones out there in the market at any price. Now, the Meze Empyrean II and the Final D7000, exactly the same price at just under 3 lakh rupees. Both of them representing the very pinnacle of headphone technology. This headphone is also perfection personified, and I don't take that lightly. But the approach with which Final Audio has challenged themselves to create this headphone is very different from what Meze did with the Empyrean II. This isn't a laid-back headphone. It doesn't feel like it's been made to be a laid-back headphone. But you'll find all the basics are there in place. It's got an incredible amount of detail, a super fast dynamic headphone, a really nice wide soundstage, and a thick, punchy bass that is just perfection. You've got the volume, you've got the slam, but it's so fast that the bass now has a really, really subtle texture that you can hear on these headphones. Now, it's just such a beautiful headphone to have and to hold. You'll find that they've taken such incredible precision and detail in crafting every single part of this headphone. The headband, the ear pads, this beautiful matte black finish that the headphones have. Everything screams flagship. Everything screams Japanese perfection. What I would say is, though, that Final Audio has done a lot of small tweaks and changes to make the D7000 an improvement in almost every way as compared to the previous flagship, which was the D8000 and the D8000 Pro. I think the biggest change has to be with the bass. Now, Final Audio says that the planar magnetic drivers themselves needed to be improved because the old planar drivers you found couldn't move too much between the magnets to produce that slam on that low end that we wanted. But the D7000 does that, and it's got such a fantastically sharp and fast bass that I think you'll find that this is the best sounding Final Audio headphone of the lot and could indeed be the best sounding headphone out there, period. The beauty of these headphones, I think, is also most exemplified by the ear pads. Now, these ear pads are probably some of the best ear pads I have seen on any headphone. They're made from a Japanese paper called washi, and it doesn't feel paper-like, so I really don't know how they managed to do this. What you will find, though, is that the ear pads make a huge difference, not just to the comfort, but also to the sound. You've created this absolutely perfect seal around you when you wear these headphones. And that doesn't mean that these headphones now sound boxed in and closed. It just means that the bass is so nice and thick and perfect that listening to them is an absolute pleasure. Now, I promised myself I wouldn't do a comparison between this and the Empyrean II, but what I will tell you is that while the Empyrean II is perfection, it makes you just lay back and relax. The D7000 is also perfection, but it makes you sit up and take notice. That's quite literally the only way I can describe them. So for 3 lakh rupees, I don't know if I'd pick one over the other. I think I just want them both. Alright guys, now we've got two closed back headphones, the first of which is this, the Dan Clark Audio E3. Now, this is again not cheap. It's priced at 1,90,000 rupees, which I think is probably amongst the highest that I've seen for any closed back headphone. And again, I think this headphone represents just absolute perfection. There is so much I love about these headphones. In my opinion, these are easily the best sounding closed back headphones that I've ever heard. And I'll tell you one reason why. It's because they simply don't sound like a closed back headphone. The E3 is the third generation of Dan Clark Audio's flagship closed backs. It started first with the Stealth, the Expanse, and this basically takes everything that was great about them and improves it to a point where I think that these are again perfection personified. For a planar magnetic driver, these are amazing sounding closed back headphones because they have this beautiful wide sound stage. Easily one of the widest on any closed back headphone, and I would probably say wider than most open backs. How that's possible on a closed back, I don't know. They are easily the easiest sounding headphones to listen to on the go, but you're going to need to power them with a proper high-res audio player capable of giving a serious amount of output power, because that's what really makes these shine. There's so much to appreciate about these headphones. It comes from the fact that it's superbly well balanced with just the right amount of bass that's fast enough to give you the texture, the timbre, great sense of airiness and beautiful rich vocals. And along with that super wide soundstage, you now have super precise, sharp imaging. There's so much I love about these headphones, and the fact that they give you all of this amazing listening experience in a portable form factor that's easy to carry around everywhere in a closed back headphone that can be driven with a nice high-res audio player. It's just incredible. All right, the last headphone on my list is another closed back, the Meze Lyric II. Priced exactly the same as the Dan Clark Audio E3 at just under 1,90,000 rupees. This is again one of the greatest closed back headphones ever made on the planet, to the point that I think that these are again perfection personified. So the Meze Lyric I was a good headphone. Okay, it was a planar driver. It was inside a super compact form factor, very comfortable, beautifully designed. But the Lyric II takes everything that we loved about the Lyric I and just makes it sound to the point where I think it's easily the best sounding closed back out there as well. Now, again, a very different approach from the Dan Clark Audio E3. The Dan Clark Audio E3 is super analytical, very flat, easily a headphone that helps you discover new details in the music, whereas this is the Meze house sound signature, which is a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more laid back. Equally fun, but a different kind of fun because it doesn't sound as forward, but it still sounds great, lush, rich, and has everything that you would want from a beautifully designed closed back headphone. Now, what the Meze Audio Lyric also does is give you a super compact and portable form factor, because they know you're going to be wanting to listen to this headphone on the go. You're going to want to pair this along with a portable high-res audio player that's going to be able to drive this beautifully. You want to use this everywhere. So it's super comfortable to wear, as you would expect. As compared to the Dan Clark Audio E3, it's a lot lighter, it's a lot more compact. It's just beautifully designed to the point where when you put it on your head, it absolutely disappears. The ear pads themselves are so much thicker and nicer, and the headband is super comfortable to listen to. So again, it's just a work of art in terms of design. In some ways, you'd find that they might be the diagonal opposite of the Dan Clark Audio E3, but they've both managed to reach the same goal, taking a different route. And in that way, I truly believe that the Lyric II is also equally placed as the very best closed back headphones I've ever heard, along with the Dan Clark Audio E3. Now, I've been thinking long and hard about this. Now, what do these four headphones have in common, right? They're flagships. They're the very best in every department. It could be design, it could be sound, it could be comfort. But the other thing about these headphones are that they are all representing such very different philosophies. They're opposites in so many ways. Open backs, closed backs. Open backs are great to listen to at home in a quiet environment on a desktop setup. Closed backs are incredible to be able to listen to on the go when you're on the move. But the other thing that they all have in common is that they're all from beautiful boutique small audio companies who have iterated on previous generations of equally impressive headphones. The Empyrean I was great, the Empyrean II is incredible. The Lyric I was great, the Lyric II is incredible. The Dan Clark Audio Expanse and Stealth were good, the E3 is just incredible. The Final Audio D8000 and 8000 Pro were amazing, but the D7000 is just incredible. And I think it represents what this industry is all about. Creating cutting-edge headphones that push the envelope, the boundaries of what sonic perfection is capable of. And then getting more and more feedback from the community on the one thing that they could have done better and have pushed the limits on what's possible even with that. So all these companies are companies which aren't massive, gigantic corporates. They're all small boutique manufacturers that build these headphones with a lot of heart, with a lot of passion. And these headphones represent not just the passion of the people making these headphones, but the passion of the community that heard them and gave feedback on how they could be improved further and further. So I'm sure that in a few years' time, I'm going to make another video saying I have 4 new headphones which are now the absolute pinnacle of perfection. But I have no idea how you're going to make these even better than what they already are. Only time will tell.